I think you can say that the Baltimorean Talmud Chacham has a certain tzivyon, a certain, how can you say it, a certain color, a certain shade, that's the not needing to stay on one daf gemara for a long time. You can go further, you can learn more, you can learn a lot. Harchovas hadas, but in Yiddish it's called breitkeit. Yiddi is knowing a lot. You see, there's somebody, what's his name, that he says shiurim, and that they hear it in the whole America. Yisachar Friend, I think his name is. And and that's because there was a special school, a special union of a special Hashgacha Pratis on Baltimore, that they stayed reminded by the Goyim that we're Yidden for many more years after the rest of America. This is a big chiddush. I think I can say that I'm the first one that ever said this chiddush, this insight. Maybe I'm all wrong, but this is what I see. It's Hashgacha Pratis that I found this book. I just want to say I don't spend time reading books. I read it in places where you're not allowed to learn. Although it causes me to be marich bebeis hakisei, but the Gemara in the end of Bracha says, marich bebeis hakisei, marichen lo yoma v'shnosav. Okay, I won't go into that. Because his body, because of health, it's healthier. This is one idea, and interesting is that in the end of this paragraph he says that in 1825 they gave permission to the Jews to take public positions even in Maryland, but deny on condition that he should sign a paper that he believes in Asharas HaNefesh. You hear this? The Goyim, they made him sign a paper that he believes that there's an afterlife. After a person dies, his neshama still lives on, and he believes in Schar Vonish. Look what kind of world it was, that even in the Goyish world, if you don't believe in these yesodis of religion, you can't get a public position. There's no place for apikosim in that world. Of course, the Goyim were Rishoyim all the time, but there was still a ruach of believing in something. Okay, and every point that I talk, there's a lot what you could talk about it, but I want to get to the second point, the second interesting idea, which is amazing. On the same page, 155 of this book, he tells about a Jew in America that he's lived from 1785 till 1841. That's not much. That's how many years is that? 56 years. That's all. This Jew's name was Mordechai Noach. Strange name. Noach was his last name. His name was Noach. Now, his father was one of those that fought in the Independence War of America. Is that how they call it, Independence War?
I think so, yes.
So, his father, that means he was a Jew that was in America from the beginning. I don't know, where did he come from? I don't know. And this Jew, he became the American consul in Tunisia. In the year 1813, he was the American consul. Interesting. In those years when there was no telephones and how did they communicate, the American consul in Tunisia? What could he do already, the American guy? I don't know. Anyway, so he was the American guy. I don't know how from he was. It's hard to know from me. he was. Now, this man, Mordechai Noach, he was the American consul in Tunisia in the year 1813. And he got into arguments with the government, and he left his position. He came back to America, and he settled in New York. He had an idea. We'll bring all the Jews, and we'll settle them in an island. I never heard of this place. That it's called Grand Island, near the Niagara Falls. I don't know anything about geography. It seems there is such a place. Yeah, I mean, we should look at the map and find. We should build over there a city for the Jews, and we'll call it Arorot. Interesting. His name was Noach. And the Teva ended up in Hori Arorot. And he wanted to make a place called Arorot, and the Jews should live there. Who's he going to bring there? I don't know, all the Jews of Europe, they wanted. Now, and so what did he do? He bought this island. Where did he have money from? I don't know. He bought this island, which was called Grand Island, near the Niagara Falls. I don't know how they shaykh an island in the middle of America. I also don't understand. Maybe there was a river there. In the middle of the river, there was an island. Don't understand. And in the year 1825, he put out an ad in all the newspapers that I am going to make a Jewish settlement, a Medinas Yisrael, Kipshuto, Medinas Yisrael, I'm going to make in this place that's called Grand Island near the Niagara Falls. And we're going to settle all the Jews there. And we're going to make a Medinas Yisrael. And the laws will be the laws of America. And I'm asking all the Jews to come settle over there. Now, he made the rabbi of Paris, Avram di Cologne, that he should be his representative in Europe. And he put out the ads in all the papers, and then he had Anocha Seven Apina, they all came together in the city, Buffalo, New York, upstate New York, and they made a whole a whole ceremony of the beginning of the settlement of Aurora that he called it on Grand Island near the Niagara Falls. There's no shul over there where they could get together, so they did it in that church in Buffalo, and they brought a galach and they sang in the Mizmorei Tehillim. And this Noach, that his last name was Noach, he gave a long speech. And the end was that nothing came out of it. Now, Dubnov in this history book, he says that this Noah, Emmanuel Noach, he lived in Olam Adimyon. He lived in imagination that something is going to come out of it. But I want to point out an interesting thing that Dubnov in his book. So he says like this, that they I'm just looking for it. That they said that there was different Reform rabbis in America, that they didn't go with him. They didn't didn't agree with him. And they said that we have houses called one of the Shalosh Shavuos, that the Shalo Yitchakus HaKeit. Now, interesting that Dubnov in his book, I don't know if these Reform rabbis in Germany that they said it, or Dubnov says it, but it's interesting that he uses this lashon that they shouldn't be dochik the Kate, and they didn't want to support him, and they weren't with him, and nothing came out of it. Here it is. I'm looking for it. I can't find it. So he says he was before the Zionism came to the world. So he had this idea of making a state of Israel, Medina Yisrael. Now, Dubnov says that he never dreamt that 100 years after his time, there'll be 1.5 million Jews in New York. So what's he talking? He's going to make a grand island, and he's going to make it over there. I mean, they could hold 10,000 Jews could fit in over there. So what's that gonna help? So I mean, but the meanwhile, it's an interesting thing that I don't know if it was Dubnov's lashon or it was the lashon of these Reform rabbis, but they mamish said these words that we can't be dochik as a Kate, and we can't make a Medinas Yisrael. You hear that? Way before anybody thought of Zionism and anything like that. So he had this dream and nothing came
Rabbi
out
Kaplan.
of it. You see, from here, actually, I can't find these exact words right now.
Rabbi Kaplan.
What?
I gave you a sefer, I loaned you a sefer a week ago by Professor Ravitsky.
Yeah.
And he goes through the history of everybody held to the 3 O's. There was no chiddush. All our great rabbis from in the last 1,000 years, everybody talked about it and held it pashut halach lamaisa. I don't know if you looked at it yet.
I looked at the first few pages. And
there's an appendix in the end where he goes through the history of that everybody held of it. Could I look at it? Maybe in that place you can look at it also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, it's hard to believe that these Reform rabbis in Germany, that it bothered them so much that you should keep the 3 oaths or you shouldn't keep the 3 oaths. But they did have a certain feeling that this is not it. This is not what we're gonna. It's not gonna work. Now, I wanted to talk more about other things, but meanwhile, let's take a break.
Okay, 1 second here. 1 second. Wait, the wrong button.